Hofstra and number 19, Georgetown, underway from Stewart Stadium. Riley has a beat on the opening draw, and the Hoya is able to scoop up the loose ball, and they'll get the first possession here today. And just like that, right to Bucaro. Mentioned him just there in the open, coming off a big season last year. Number 4 in Navy Blue. He had 55 points despite missing the last 5 games of the season, going down with that torn ACL last year. But Finn, the funny thing in talking with Kevin Warren this week is he said, look, he came back and he won our 1-mile run test in January just after he got cleared to return.
That's amazing. Yeah. I mean, sometimes you hear about these guys, hard when really talented players are your hardest workers. And clearly this kid is. If he's putting in that kind of work during his rehab effort, then you got something special.
He's joined on the attack unit by Robert Clark, who goes one-man show, and the Hoyas are on the board first.
Nice little fake high there, finish low, and I'm not sure exactly what happened. It looked like he was wide open from X there right when he received the pass. So Hofstra defense, a little lapse early on. Let's see if they can figure it out and settle in here.
Robert Clark with his 7th goal of the season. And let's take another look.
Yeah, look, wide open. Nobody's really looking at the ball. Everyone's looking at their man. You got to get your head on a swivel if you're on the crease there for the Hofstra defense.
The Hoyas coming off a bounce-back win earlier this week, taking down Mount St. Mary's on Tuesday, 13-11. They needed a big 4th quarter in order to come away with that win. They were down 1 entering the final 15 minutes, but outscored the Mountaineers 4-1 in the 4th. And able to bounce back after losing to Towson last week. And a loss that certainly doesn't look all that bad, especially after what the Tigers did on Wednesday.
Certainly not. Absolutely. Towson looks really strong here.
Tigers, of course, knocking off number 1 Loyola on Wednesday, a game you saw here on LSN. Towson, a team in the CAA that may get some first-place votes come Monday.
Oh, yeah.
Here's a look at the freshman midfielder, Declan McDermott. He's joined by Lucas Wittenberg and Massimo Bucci in that first midfield unit. As that shot is saved coming from Bucaro, Bobby Casey, the first-year starter in net, makes an early stop.
Nice for Casey to get a stop like that early on there. They let Bucaro get to his left hand, but he wasn't able to get too much on that shot, so that'll get the goalie's confidence up early here.
Ryan Kennard brings it in for the Pride, and they get their first offensive set here today. We now welcome in the people that were just watching Ohio State and Marquette from the Patriot Cup in Dallas, Texas. The Buckeyes able to walk away with a win there, so thank you to Scott Sudikoff and company for that one, and we welcome you here to Long Island. Hofstra battling with number 19 Georgetown. The Hoyas struck first, Robert Clark scoring early on. This is the Pride's first offensive set of the afternoon. And Kennard stripped away.
Nice check.
A nice play there by the Hoyas. We've got a big loose ball, but it's the Pride coming up with it. James Philbin, the sophomore. And so he gets it to Ryan Tierney. I don't know if that was a shot or a pass. It gets deflected. Refs say it's a shot, so it'll stay with the Hoyas. Excuse me, stay with the Pride. And with the shot clock winding down, just going to send it to the corner. Something we've seen more of as teams adjust to the shot clock this year.
Yeah, absolutely. You just want to get your defensive personnel on the field sometimes when you know you have 5 seconds or less on that shot clock. So just dump it in the corner and then go sub off.
The Hoya is able to clear as Austin McDonald brings it in.
A little bit of a sloppy first possession on offense there by Hofstra. See if they can settle in here, get another stop, and hopefully get down and have a better offensive possession.
Getting a look at some different midfielders. Something Kevin Warren told us this week is they're still trying to figure it out, like a lot of teams with some new pieces, trying to figure out the right combinations in that midfield. On the attack, they seem pretty set with Robert Clark here working from X. Bucaro now with it, and they are joined by Jake Caraway as well. Excuse me, this is Wittenberg working from X. Back out top, shot rings the bar for McDonald.
It's too easy there. He didn't even have to draw a slide. The guy with the ball from behind, and he hit a wide open guy on the crease there.
Here is Bucaro off the restart. Skip past to McDermott, all alone up top. Hofstra recovers. Hands free for Caraway. Shot sails high. Hofstra coming off a tough loss in their Long Island rivalry against Stony Brook on Tuesday. A game where they dug themselves into a hole early, trailed 10-7 late, able to tie things up at 10, but eventually losing to the Seawolves 11-10. A behind the back shot there from Wittenberg is stopped, but it stays with the Hoyas.
Thought he was a little too fancy there. If he just finishes that high to low, that's a goal every single time. Didn't have to go behind the back.
I believe the refs are talking about whether this shot clock should reset. And we have the coaches yelling about, I believe it's the Hoya side of things, yelling about that ball getting on frame. Instead, it stays at 34 as Kevin Warren gets a few words in. Bucaro draws the quick slide in front. McDermott just couldn't get it through, but he keeps it in a fresh 80 seconds. So the Hoyas' possession continues here in the first quarter. Clark's got the only goal today so far. And an extended offensive set here early on as Hofstra tries to create the turnover. Big loose ball, and they win it.
Great ground ball there. Number 25, Michael Altman, way to find space, get the ball out to space, and clear this ball successfully right now.
And an important break for the defense after an extended possession there.
Absolutely. This offense is definitely going to take the full shot clock and have a nice long possession here. Give their defense a break.
Not much doing offensively so far. 6 minutes in for the Pride. Just one possession so far and ended up in a shot clock violation. This is Matt Elder, the freshman midfielder out of North Carolina. He's joined in that unit by Jimmy Yanis and Ryan Kennard. This is Sterling Ardrey,
nice
and the bounce shot goes. The freshman putting home his first career goal.
First goal of the year for the freshman. He looked like very confident dodging down that right-handed alley right there and got a nice shot on net.
Ardrey able to get the hands free, win his matchup. And the midfielder has his first goal of his career. And I think that's something that's interesting. We were talking about it before the game here today. Long Island, such a hotbed, but Hofstra has gone, a couple guys from North Carolina. You got California represented. They've gone outside of the hotbed in order to bring some of these guys in.
Yeah, you'll see that. I think when I was at Hofstra and continuing on, about half of the roster, around 50% is Long Island guys, so local guys. And then the other half are really a smattering from across the country in Canada, which is pretty cool. A lot of different backgrounds on that team.
Go back to the face-off X, big collision in front, but it's scooped up by Gibson Smith, and the Hoyas will get a possession. Smith thought about it for a second, instead backs it out. Gibson Smith entering this game tied for 11th in the country in calls turnovers per game, averaging 2.5 per contest. He was an all Big East selection in the preseason. Plays close defense along with face-off wings. So you're gonna see a lot of number 17 in Navy today. This is Bucaro.
Pretty good D there on Bucaro.
A lot of attention on him so far. Deservedly so. This is Bucci in front. Clark had a great shot.
Hofstra's not getting that two slide down to the crease right now. I think every single good shot on net so far has been right from the crease in that danger zone. So they really need to tighten up their two slides if they slide to the ball carrier.
Bucaro, one of the fastest guys on the field at the moment. And he works for Max, looking for the dive. And it's good. Daniel Bucaro, his first goal of the game, his 14th of the season.
Yeah, defensive coordinator John Gorman won't be too happy about this one. It seems like every time Bucaro's had the ball so far with a pole matched up on him, they've been ready to slide. But we got a shorty on him down here right in front of the net. We've got no slide ready to go. And Bucaro's going to win that matchup every time. It doesn't matter who the shorty is. He's too talented to just leave your guy out on an island like that. So need to support your shorties here if you're Hofstra.
Something that you learned about when you transitioned to Major League Lacrosse. How does the defense change when you now have that dive that's available for a player around the crease?
Yeah, so you're always taught to defend inside out. So if a guy's going to make an underneath move like that, before he might have to pull out and not because he can't dive in front of the crease there. Now he can, so I think you're going to see teams slide more often than not to those underneath dodges just to be safe, you know.
So we have a face-off violation on the Hoyas, gives it back to Hofstra, looking to answer the Georgetown goal. It's Jimmy Yanis, number 18 in yellow, a guy whose name you probably heard last year, but he's shifted to the midfield this year to make room for the freshman Whit Stopak on the attack unit. He's come in and had a nice start to the season, 5 goals already. Here he is working for Max. Coach Tierney really impressed with Whit so far in his early collegiate career.
High pass by Ardrey there.
Yeah, it's just too tall for Yanis and the X. And it's a turnover.
It's what you get with freshmen sometimes, you know. The last possession he had a great goal and then just an unforced error right there. You live with the good and the bad.
And that has kind of defined Hofstra so far in this early part of the season at 2-2.
Yeah, absolutely. Been a roller coaster in the first 4 games so far.
And we have a roller coaster of an issue here, but Georgetown stops it, and we've got a timeout. When you look at this Hoyas team, ranked 19th in the country, they come in at 3-1. They've got wins over Sacred Heart, Robert Morris, and now Mount St. Mary's. None of them incredibly convincing, and that you have the loss to Towson. I think this Georgetown team is a team that's got a bunch of pieces back from an NCAA tournament team a year ago, but they're still trying to figure some things out as they work in some new guys.
Absolutely. I think, you know, Bucaro's the known, and then you have a bunch of unknowns. So just as the rest of us are, Coach Warren's probably trying to figure out exactly who on his team is going to step up and be that secondary scoring, you know, alongside Bucaro for this whole year as they move into Big East play, you know, a month from now. They have plenty of time to kind of sort through that.
And remember, the defense was such a big part of how this team was able to make that run to win their first ever Big East championship last year, taking down Denver in the Big East title game. And it was led in goal by Nick Morocco, who has since moved on, now a member of the Boston Cannons in Major League Lacrosse. And so it's now Owen McElroy in nets, number 24 in Navy. He's a guy who struggled a little bit against Mount St. Mary's. We got to look at Chris Brandow in goal, but McElroy, the guy in cage for Georgetown today. He's the starter once again. Kevin Warren just saying, look, had a bad game. We trust him. We're going to give him another shot to get back out here, but continuing to create competition in the early part of the season.
Absolutely. Every spot's up for open right now in February.
Except for maybe Bucaro.
That's right. Maybe he might be safe.
Continues to play like he has early on. He's got nothing to worry about. Draws the slide from way downtown. Wow. It's Wittenberg.
You can see how much attention Bucaro 4 is drawing right now. I mean, they're practically sliding to him before he's even made his dodge to the goal. And it just makes it tough on the defensive guys surrounding them on the backside because you're playing 4-on-3. Bucaro's smart enough to just see the guy right behind him for a step-down shot from about 10 yards there. And you know, that's just too easy. I think they're a little too packed in and too concerned with sliding to him right now.
Well, and that's also the ability from Wittenberg to be able to stretch that defense, and it even creates more issues, right?
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. If these guys learn to play around Bucaro like that now and get into dangerous spots as he's dodging and keeping his eyes up, that's just going to be huge for this team going forward.
It's Wittenberg's 6th goal of the season. He's now got 14 points, entered the game. It's 3rd place on the Hoyas in scoring, coming off a 43-point season a year ago as a junior. Herber's got a chance at a face-off win, a big collision, eventually scooped up there by Daniel Oakes.
Oof.
But he can't keep it. And so here comes Georgetown. Bucaro into the unsettled. And Hofstra doing a good job getting back there and stopping the transition.
Thought Herbert had a chance at that first time ground ball there. Just keep 2 hands on the stick and scoop through.
Skip pass all the way back across to Caraway.
Ooh.
And
Award
good
the ball to
backup.
Hofstra, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice hustle
Altman
there.
able to, you almost couldn't see him there in the screen. He was so far off, but Altman wins the race to the end line. So we get back to this Pride offense. It's been up and down at times in the early part of this season. Still trying to figure some things out around Ryan Tierney. One guy you will not see today is Dylan McIntosh, the sophomore. Scored 4 goals in the first 3 games, but was injured. He's out currently with a broken jaw. Was injured in that game against Villanova, the heartbreaking OT loss a couple of weeks ago. So he's out for the time being, as you see a turnover there at the other end. So no Dylan McIntosh, which is a big hit for this team, because Coach Tierney was telling us this week how he and Ryan Tierney had really started to develop something really special.
Yeah, McIntosh is a great Canadian inside finisher. Hofstra offensively in a very similar position as Georgetown, with one known guy, Ryan Tierney, and then a bunch of unknowns around him. And you'll see a lot of guys rotating in and out of the attack and midfield spots for the beginning part of this season as they try to make the pieces fit.
So the Hoyas a chance to extend this lead off the Hofstra turnover. Wittenberg sends it behind to Clark. Now back outside to Caraway. Caraway, 64 points a year ago. Really stepped up when Bucaro went out with that ACL. 64 points, the 6th best single season in Georgetown history.
I think with the shot clock, you don't mind getting hung up anymore as much if you're on defense. So interesting, Hofstra's just okay to let him sit back there.
And they toss it back out to Wittenberg. He's only got 10 seconds to operate. I don't know if he realizes it. McDermott's got to go. Sends it in front. Shot sails high, but that'll be a shot clock violation on the Hoyas.
Definitely the best defensive possession by the Pride yet. It was pretty good, not letting a quality shot on net there.
See if this Hofstra team can turn that into some offense at the other end. Hofstra offense averaging under 10 goals per game. A lot of that having to do with the 4-3 win over Lehigh in the opener. A game where they took 3 quarters to score once and then got a trio of goals in the 4th in order to come from behind and beat a then ranked Lehigh team. Just sloppy early on. Ardrey coming over to pick it up. Excuse me, that's Joey Ilardi. Shot from Tierney rings the bar. It gets a fresh 80. And Hofstra keeps the backup.
Nice save there on a tough shot to track by Ryan Tierney. Slung it from the right-handed wing, even though he's a left-hander, and it just makes it really hard as a goalie to track that shot.
different pieces in here for Hofstra right now. You got Riley Forte, number 40. Joined there in the midfield by Joey Alardi, the sophomore from New York. Here's the known. It's Tierney. Let's see if he can get something going. Draws the slide. And now is the short stick matchup. Back out to Alardi. Still 40 seconds to operate as they got that fresh shot clock on the Tierney shot, but he's stripped away by the short stick. Nice play by Patrick Aslanian. And a chance for the Hoyas to come back the other way.
That was a nice play by Aslanian right there. You notice how the best player on the Hofstra Pride, Ryan Tierney, had the ball against a shorty, but the defense didn't seem to freak out. They just let the shorty play, and if they need to slide to him, they will. But not everybody, you know, just freak out. Let's play defense the way they know how to play. So.
1 minute remaining in the first quarter.
Under a minute to go in the first quarter. Hoyas with a 3-1 lead, looking to add to it. Gotten a lot of good opportunities in this first 15 minutes. Looking for one more, and they get it to go. The Hoyas again, it's Massimo Bucci.
Nice little hitch there to get a better angle on that shot. You'll see he'll pop to the right-handed wing, fake a shot, and then hitch to get more upfield and increase his angle as a shooter. Look at this. Fake, hitch, shot. Very fundamental.
You look there, too. You got Jack Elders kind of set a screen, too, on that backside.
Absolutely.
Able to create a little bit more space there for Bucci. So 46 seconds to go. Georgetown coming off another goal. Their largest lead, of course, here with a 3-goal advantage on the Pride. Herber wins it back, but it's scooped up by the vacuum cleaner and Gibson Smith. Gets it to Caraway in the box, and still plenty of time to operate. Looking to add one more on here before the end of the first.
Looks like they're going to hold for one last dodge from Bucaro.
And he's certainly the guy you want to operate. He has been spectacular this year. Sends it back out top. Nice save by Casey. Man, did Hofstra need that. Corey Kale looking to go in transition. 5 seconds. Can they get a shot off? They can, but that is just about going to do it on this first quarter. Ball gets sent in front, but not enough time for James Philbin or anybody to do anything with it. So after one, the Hoyas taking control of this one. The 19th ranked team in the country. It's got a 4-1 lead on the road in Long Island. It's Bucci and company up by 3. Welcome back to Long Island. Travis Eldridge, Finn Sullivan back with you here as the Pride trail Georgetown 4-1 after 1. Bobby Casey, the goalie for Hofstra, wearing the number 27 this year. He earned that, of course, honoring the legacy of Nick Colori, who lost his battle with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma back in 2006. And Finn, you had this honor of wearing number 27 as you see the list of guys that have had this opportunity. What did wearing that number mean for you?
It meant so much. You know, I didn't know Nick personally, of course, but you know, just seeing the guys when I entered the program in 2013 that were asked to wear number 27 and how they carried themselves and worked on the field and off on a daily basis, it really set the message into me that that was something I wanted to strive for in my career, and I was lucky enough to be selected with the number in 2016. So it's a great brotherhood and type of thing that we do to honor Nick and his legacy for Hofstra.
And obviously, Nick's legacy is seen throughout the sport so much now with creating the Headstrong Foundation as Casey goes back to get this loose ball. Unsettled situation. Cage is wide open. A massive ground ball here for Hofstra to start the second quarter. We just saw down in Texas, the Patriot Cup, if you just watched that here on LSN, the Headstrong Foundation helping out down there, and it's just so cool to see what he's done and continuing to raise so much money and awareness for kids battling cancer, and especially with Nick's House. I had the opportunity to go visit Nick's House down in Philadelphia. Just so cool to see what they're doing.
It's amazing, and even seeing it spread into the NFL and football with Chris Hogan of the Patriots, it's amazing to see what just one person, Nick, has done and was able to do on his time on Earth, and how many lives he's now touched just by setting this foundation up. It's great to see.
Hofstra looking to respond offensively with Stopak.
I'd like to see him get a little bit more involved. Number 6, he had a great game on Tuesday night, got them right back in that Stony Brook game in the 4th quarter, but he's been quiet here, so I'd like to see him get a little bit more aggressive from X.
Kennard splits 2 somehow, gets the triple team. He still has it, but only 1 second left on the shot clock and not enough time to do anything, and Georgetown takes over on the shot clock violation. And this could be trouble. Nice deflection, and that saved possible goal.
Great stick right there.
After some settled play in the first 15 minutes, a little unsettled to start the second quarter as Ryan Tierney gets things.
Who's going to beat their matchup? Who's going to win their matchup? It seems like Georgetown is just showing to every dodge. They don't have to fully slide. And, you know, the Pride haven't been able to, nobody's really been able to beat their guy yet. So, you know, you got to take a matter of personal pride in it if you're one of these Dodgers and just say, I'm going to run by my guy and at least draw a slide here.
This is Ardrey working against the short stick. He's got the 1 goal today. That shot saved by McElroy.
Low angle shot there, but I like the way that this kid's dodging to the net. You know, he's at least showing some confidence and some swagger that he's going to beat his guy. So.
Good start for Owen McElroy and Cage for the Hoyas after getting pulled in the second half against Mount St. Mary's. He's got a couple of saves and just 1 goal against in the first quarter plus. And even with the shot clock, 80 seconds is a lot of time, and a Georgetown team who last year was known without the shot clock, settled situations, settled 6-on-6, deliberate pace, can still play that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I think even in this new shot clock era, that you're still going to see some teams like Georgetown and like others that will want to play a little slower than others. So, you know, you'll see them get the ball around at least once or twice with an 80-second shot clock and have plenty of time to attack the cage.
Bucaro shot sails wide, but backed up by the Hoyas. Caraway gets the short stick on him. Now behind to Clark. He's got a goal today. 4 different goal scorers so far for the Hoyas. Clark in front. Pretty feed from Caraway. And Clark's got his second.
2 slide a half a second late there. Slid to the ball carrier coming from X. And that 2 slide's got to come right down on the guy right in front of the crease. Unfortunately, just a little bit late. And that's all the room number 16 needed to bury. Nice finish there, too. Canadian Canadian finish there with the one-timer. That looks a lot easier than it is to do, folks. Let me tell you, that's a tough finish right there.
Does so in traffic. Coming off a 4-point effort against Mount St. Mary's. He's got 2 early goals. A senior from Cooksville, Maryland, McDonough School. Face-off win here for Riley. Really the first time we've seen a guy be able to win it forward and create an offensive set right away in either side. And the freshman from Conestoga High School now has a 5-8 advantage at the X. This is a big possession, it seems like, early on here for this Hofstra defense.
Yes, not all possessions are created equal. You really need to stop the bleeding right now if you're Hofstra right now. Get a stop and clear it.
Wittenberg stings the top corner. Georgetown clicking on all cylinders early.
They look very comfortable here so far down on Long Island. you'd be surprised to hear that it's a away game for them, the way they've settled in here and are just kind of, everything's turning up Hoyas so far.
And it creates a timeout for Hofstra. They'll step aside. All Hoyas so far, they've got a 6-1 lead on the Pride.
Hey everybody, Tom Eschen here in the LSN studios. All season long, we're tracking the Player of the Year watch here on Lax Sports Network. This week, Yale faceoff man T.D. Erlin. In a top 6 matchup over the weekend, the Albany transfer went 25 of 31 with 22 ground balls against Penn State. It's 81% at the X. Not a bad way to continue making a first impression on your new team. Possibly the most impressive part about it is he did it against another preseason All-American in Gerard Arceri. Entering this week, Erlin led the nation, winning nearly 77% at the Faceoff X, coming off a season when he broke the single-season record for faceoff win percentage while at Albany. Stay tuned all year long as we continue to track the Player of the Year race here on LSN. Now, let's get you back out to the game.
Back on the island, number 19, Georgetown, showing off the offense so far. Averaging 12 goals a game coming in. They've already got 6 goals, and we're just less than 5 minutes into the second quarter. Robert Clark, coming off a 4-point performance against Mount St. Mary's. He's already got 2 goals, and the Pride defensively needs to try to figure something out because Georgetown's been able to do just about everything they've wanted.
Yeah, need to tighten up the middle of that defense there, and I think just make better sliding decisions. You know, they're either going way too early, or as you saw in Bucaro's goal, they just didn't go at all. So John Gorman's probably talking to them right now. The guy sitting on the crease, you just got to be smarter about when to go, when to show, and making better sliding decisions.
A couple of first-year starters battling at the X. The sophomore Brian Herber for Hofstra and James Riley, the freshman for Georgetown. Riley, the 6th-ranked freshman face-off man in the country, has had the early advantage between these two, but Herber able to win it to himself, and an important face-off win for the Pride. Let's see if they can get an offensive set out of it. You get the feeling for the Pride out of Ryan Tierney or Whit Stopak. One of these guys who's had a good start to the season needs to find a way to create something.
Yeah, I think so, but it's gotta be off a ball movement. You know, I wouldn't want to see either of those guys kind of just play iso ball and pull it out into the corner. They got to get the ball spinning, and then when they get their chance, attack from behind. But not necessarily just go right away every time.
Nice stop there by McElroy as Kennard went from distance, but backed up for Hofstra as was deflected off the post in a fresh 80 seconds. Here's Jimmy Yanis working for Max outside to Tierney. Man, did the Pride need that one. Ryan Tierney with his first goal of the day.
Like we talked about in the opener, Travis, Ryan Tierney's got an absolute cannon with his left-handed shot. And here you don't see him as the dodger, but rather the finisher. Jimmy Yanis is able to draw a slide from behind, find Ryan posted up on that that right-handed wing, and you know, just fires it far corner behind the goalie.
12th goal of the season for Ryan Tierney, a preseason All-CAA selection. Had 5 goals in that heartbreaking loss against Villanova. Tierney already now with 110 career points. Start of his junior season, scored his 100th career point against Utah.
I like that idea of putting Ryan Tierney above the net and having other players attack from below the net, and then have him step into shots rather than start dodging from behind and finding other guys up top. It's a nice little adjustment out of the first quarter timeout there.
After losing 5 of the first 8 faceoffs, a couple in a row here for Herber, and a chance to maybe string some goals together for the Pride.
Gotta clear this.
Just over in time as you got to get it over in that first 20 seconds of the shot clock. Kennard able to do that. And Jimmy Yanis going back to work. He's a guy who's used to playing from X. It was an attackman, a starter last year, moved to the starting midfield. Yanis going all the way around, shot saved by McElroy right into the chest.
Yeah, good take by Yanis there. Maybe just change the planes on that shot a little bit. It looked like he kept it high, even though he went high to high there. Maybe go high to low. Nice ride.
Only got 1 second to get it over. And the refs say that they did just at that 60-second mark of the shot clock.
The skin of their teeth there.
It's something that's interesting to watch, and we've been talking about it on some of the games we've done on LSN so far this year. I feel like it's that nod on the play clock you see in football, and if the center snaps it at 0, that you give it to him.
Yeah, tie goes to the runner or something like that. I agree.
They've got a loose ball push on Hofstra. Gives it right back to Georgetown. Tough because they had the ground ball won. The Hoyas will keep possession up by 4 in this second quarter, midway point through. Wittenberg to Buccaro. Now to Bucci. Nice save by Casey.
Great save there by Casey. Tracked that thing the whole way.
Especially because there's some good ball movement there for the Hoyas. Dominic Pryor back the other way. Thought about it.
I think I could hear Seth Tierney screaming all the way from up here to pull that one out.
So the freshman Matt Elder takes it to the corner. Got the short stick matchup with Aslanian.
Clearly saw something in that first quarter where they want to invert, because every possession here so far in the second has been starting with an inverted dodge from behind.
Back to Stopak. And now Philbin. See if Tierney's got something under 30 seconds of the shot clock. On the run! Back-to-back goals for Ryan Tierney.
That's cash right there. Ryan Tierney starts with a shorty on him. They even set a pick on the shorty, and there's no switch. Not sure what that off-ball defenseman's doing right here. Got to step up and fill space if you're number 9. He doesn't. And Tierney, we've been talking about his lefty cannon. He's running towards the sideline there, which is what you tell guys usually not to do. But he's just so talented and got such great torque on that shot that it works for him, and it hides the release point for the goalie, which makes it impossible to save.
Now 13 goals on the season for Ryan Tierney. Just named to the Tewaaraton watch list of the 50 top men's players in the country earlier this week. A great honor for the junior, the coach's son. I asked him this week, what's the best and worst part of playing for your dad? And Ryan said, the worst part is when things go bad, it can get pretty bad pretty quick. The best part is they're going to have a lot of memories to take away from his 4-year collegiate career.
Oh, I'm sure that's, you know, the primary reason he went to Hofstra. You know, you ride through those lows with the dad, but you get to experience the highs with your father, which I'm sure is a great feeling.
Now, as we mentioned in the open, wearing his father's number 13, that shot sails a little wide. Number also worn by his uncle Bill Tierney, of course, the legendary coach now at Denver. So back-to-back goals for Hofstra. Gets this thing back to a 3-goal game. Let's see if the Hoyas have an answer. Of course, they're going to go to Buccaro, wrapping around. Good hustle to get out to the hands of McDermott.
That was a great full rotation by that defense right there. Everybody working on a string together, and they were able to prevent a good shot from Georgetown.
20 seconds to work for Buccaro. To McDermott. Casey keeps it out. Big save.
Huge save.
4 saves here for Bobby Casey, who's finding his rhythm in the second quarter. Philbin's shot never got through. It looked like it hit poor Lucas Wittenberg square in the back. And Alex Mazzone brings it over into the offensive end for Georgetown. A zone of freshmen, but a guy who's been drawing marquee matchups so far for Georgetown. The 10th ranked freshman in the nation by Inside Lacrosse coming in. Coming out of Ward Melville High School, where he helped that team finish #1 in the country last year. Jump shot for Clark, who was looking for the hat trick. Goes off the post. It gets a fresh 80 seconds here. Errant pass comes all the way down to Hofstra, but Stopak couldn't get the first-time ground ball. It'll be an over and back, but a chance to really have taken advantage of that opportunity.
He was lucky he actually didn't pick that one up, because I think if he had picked it up and dropped it, it would have been Georgetown's ball, you know.
Stopak gets it to Kennard, and a chance to get back within 2 for the Pride. A good start to the second quarter.
Gonna start with an invert again here. Been working so far in this quarter.
Elder to Kennard. And McElroy saw that one the whole way. The Hoyas settle things down. Under 4 minutes to go. They've got a 3-goal lead on the Pride. We're going to get to 4-1 on the young season. Caraway's pass deflected, but scooped up by Georgetown. In front! Pretty score from Austin McDonald.
A little too soft on the inside of that Hofstra defense right there. I don't think the guy from X was even really looking to attack Cage yet there. He just looked up, saw an open guy, gave him the ball, and a couple nice fakes there from number 10, and he's able to beat the goalie.
McDonald pays the price, but cashes in.
Nice patience, look at that. Fake, face dodge, and then pull it back again.
His first goal of the season, coming off an 11-goal season a year ago as a junior, the senior from Olney, Maryland, out of Georgetown Prep. So after 2 straight from Hofstra to make this thing back a 3-goal game, Georgetown with an answer. And on the violation, the Hoyas get the ball back. Coming up at the half, we will send it back into the LSN Broadcast Center, give you some first half highlights for anything you missed from this one. Also check in on some of the action from around the country. Another thriller between Syracuse and Virginia, because of course it was an OT game there. Check in with Denver, who got a big win over North Carolina. All that coming up here at the half on Lax Sports Network. Bucaro. One more pass to McDermott, but it never got through.
Nice block there.
And Corey Kale able to come up with a big ground ball and get Hofstra possession. Casey's got 4 seconds. He's got to get this thing over. And just in the nick of time, it's Kennard. Team's still adjusting to the new clearing rules with 20 seconds to get over the midfield line. About a month into the season for everybody.
I think I saw a tweet from Kyle Devitt today that said half jokingly that the team that wins the NCAA championship this year will have the highest clearing percentage.
There's Whit Stopak, the freshman getting into the scoring act for the first time today.
I like this kid a lot from Ohio. He's a freshman, had a really nice game this past week, earlier this week on Tuesday night, and buried on the doorstep here. He looks like he's going to have a bright future at Hofstra for the next couple of years.
Number 12, Matt Elder. That's Wade Snowpack, his 6th of the season from Matt Elder.
Just a great finish in front for the U.S. Lacrosse All-American. Had a career best 4 goals against Stony Brook there on Tuesday, as you just mentioned. And he's a guy that Coach Tierney felt really good about coming into this season. Good enough and played well enough to earn himself a starting spot on this attack unit. One of the reasons Jimmy Yanis has dropped back into the midfield.
Absolutely, and he's been kind of their quarterback from X. Ryan Tierney does most of his damage on the lefty wing, so to be a freshman and be the ex-attackman quarterback of the offense is pretty special.
Hofstra calls a timeout as they get possession with under 2 minutes to go. A big opportunity here to try to cut back into this Georgetown lead, make things a little bit more manageable as they head into the half.
Yeah, it's been a sloppy half here if you're the Pride, but if you can get one on the board here and go into the half down 2, I think you'd be ecstatic. Defense has a lot to tighten up, so they're going to need to get in together at halftime and just figure out sliding packages. The offense has been clicking so far.
Well, Major League Lacrosse will select its next generation of stars on Saturday, March 9th at the 2019 MLL Collegiate Draft. Who's going to go first overall? Which teams will set themselves up for success in 2019 and beyond? You can find out right here on Lax Sports Network. Coverage of the Major League Lacrosse Draft begins at 7 p.m. Eastern, Saturday, March 9th. We'll see who your Denver Outlaws will select. The defending MLL champions. Ben, you got to be feeling pretty good with what you guys haven't come back. Just signed Dylan Ward, the goalie, to a new contract.
Very excited for sure, yeah. Definitely have the that itch in your stomach that hits right around January or so to get back to playing again. So can't wait for the season to start up again and see the draft next week, who's going to be a future teammate, a couple teammates of mine, so it'll be fun.
Draft, of course, at the NASCAR Hall of Fame in Charlotte, North Carolina. Next Saturday night, we'll have coverage here on LSN. Ryan Tierney not eligible yet, just a junior, but I have a feeling he will be a professional when he gets done with his collegiate career. So coming out of the timeout, Hofstra, a big opportunity to cut back into this Georgetown lead. Hoyas led 4-1 after the first. It's been an even 3-3 second quarter so far. Shot sails just a little wide from Elder. The 120 left, 43 seconds on the shot clock. Stopak, the freshman, stripped away. Another caused turnover from Gibson Smith.
Really well-timed back check there. Just a hello check to your back, and that ball popped right out.
Gibson Smith entered the game with 10 caused turnovers in 4 games and continuing to show off why he was a preseason All-Big East Conference pick. And just like Hofstra did at the other end, Georgetown going to call a timeout, talk things over for their final possession here of the first half. So as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Finn, a former Hofstra player, and we've got some shots to prove it, Finn.
Oh, here we go.
When you look back at your time at Hofstra, what made it so special to be part of this program?
It's a very tight-knit community out on Long Island. The guys that have played for Hofstra Lacrosse and that continue to play for Hofstra and the coaching staff, everyone's got so much respect for the hard work and dedication that goes into playing there, and kind of the grittiness of being quote-unquote turnpike is how we refer to it down there. So it was a special place, and I love that those 4 years, made a lot of lifelong friends that I continue to have to this day.
Turnpike guys. I love
Absolutely.
that. I
Yeah.
love that way of
Turnpike tough.
thinking. And you look at Coach Kevin Warren for Georgetown. He's a Hofstra alum, and he's described this team still as that. A bunch of Turnpike guys that are going to come out. They're going to be gritty. They're going to try to win every ground ball, and it defines a program.
It's a style of play. There's so many Hofstra alums that coach elsewhere in the country now, and they'll still use Turnpike and the terms like that from their Hofstra days to wherever program they're at now. So it's cool that we've kind of set the barometer for how tough, I guess, a program should be.
Kevin Warren bringing this team back here to Hofstra, his alma mater, for the first time since 2016. The Hoyas were walking away with a win that day as well. They won 11-6. The last time these two teams played was in 2017 in DC, and Hofstra actually won that one. So 40 seconds left of the half. Georgetown comfortable to get one more shot at this thing and go into the half with at least a 3-goal lead. Wittenberg to Traeger with 15.
Nice job shutting off Bucaro there. You know that's where they want to go with the ball.
They finally get it to him with 5. He's got to hurry. Bucaro! What a way to finish the half for the star for Georgetown.
They try to shut him off at X to deny him the ball. He still gets open, and right when he gets the ball, he runs through 2 checks right up to his left hand and buries. Look at this. Through the first guy, through the slide, and then goal. If you're going to slide there as a Hofstra defenseman, you need to make contact, get into your cross-check there, and get some friction on that guy. Sliding with a stick to a guy as talented as he is not going to get the job done.
You were comparing him to Jordan Wolf before the game, and that is the shot we see from Jordan Wolf every single night.
Yeah, you know he's super fast and wants to get to his left hand, but it doesn't matter if he's that fast and talented. If you know where he's going, he'll get there anyway.
So Daniel Bucaro, his second goal of the game, gives the Hoyas a 4-goal advantage at the half. The 19th ranked team in the country coming on the road and starting off fast with an 8-4 lead. Welcome back to Long Island. Travis Eldridge and the former member of the Hofstra Pride, current Denver Outlaw Finn Sullivan, back with you on the call. An impressive first half from Georgetown, and the Hoyas, the 19th ranked team in the country, have an 8-4 lead over the Pride at the break. Finn, we saw Georgetown really do a lot of what they wanted to do offensively, and it all starts with Daniel Bucaro.
Yeah, definitely. Bucaro's, been letting the game come to him and picking his spots when he wants to dodge from behind. And, Georgetown's goals have really been coming right on top of that crease there, which is obviously the most dangerous part of the field. Whereas the Hofstra Pride, have been having to rely on step-down shots and stuff from outside of the crease area. So it's coming easier to Georgetown right now, and Hofstra hopefully has made a halftime adjustment to counter that.
You saw a goal from Bucci. You saw a couple of goals from Robert Clark. You had Lucas Wittenberg, who had 2 goals and an assist on the run, and then a pretty finish in front from Austin McDonald. Of course, the kind of backbreaker happened at the end of that half as Daniel Bucaro scored to extend this back to a 4-goal lead for the Hoyas. On the Pride side of things, we saw Ryan Tierney give him a spurt. Can he do that again for them here to start the third quarter?
Yeah, I think they actually found a little something there in the second quarter. They started to invert from behind, and rather than relying on Tierney 13 as a dodger, just have him be an off-the-ball guy and tell your middies going up against shorties to look for 13 from up top. So they found a little bit of chemistry or something, a spark there in the second quarter, and they just need the ball more and to get some more stops in order to kind of capitalize on what they found there.
It all ends up in an 8-4 first half, a Hoyas lead as they look to get to 4-1 on the season. Hofstra looking to bounce back from a tough loss to Stony Brook earlier this week. They also are coming off a loss last week and a heartbreaker, an OT loss to Villanova. you look ahead for Hofstra coming after this one, things don't get any easier. You got Ohio State coming to your place next week, a game you can see here on LSN. They then take on a St. John's team out of the Big East who has surprised some people, has a win over High Point, who's been red hot. Providence, you got to go to Rutgers, and then, oh, guess who? Towson is coming up, a team that very well could get some first place votes on Monday.
Tough 5-game slate right there. If I'm Coach Tierney, I'm just thinking about how to get this team going and gelling so that they hit their peak in April. You know, they're not hitting their peak in February, because ultimately what might get this team into the NCAA tournament is winning their conference, and those conference games don't start until April. So you don't want to peak too early and then plateau for the rest of the year.
Yeah, certainly all games here in this part of February and March that get everybody geared up for conference play. Same thing for Georgetown, a team that is likely going to rely on the Big East Conference schedule in order to find themselves playing in May. Exactly what they did last year is they won their first ever Big East championship, knocking off Denver in the Big East title game. Just about set to go for quarter number 3. Once again at the Face-Off X, the sophomore Brian Herber for Hofstra against James Riley, the freshman from Georgetown. Relatively even battle. Georgetown had an advantage early, but Hofstra was able to battle back. But Riley, the freshman, wins it to himself to start the third and gets it to Caraway. Caraway with a couple of assists in the first half, no goals. Up to now 21 points on the season. How important is it for Hofstra to get a stop here to start the second half?
I think it's huge. You hear coaches all the time saying maybe the most important 5-minute span of a lacrosse game is the 5 minutes after the second half has started, so the first 5 of the third quarter.
And there you go, a turnover early on, whether it's forced or unforced. Georgetown throws it away. Chance to get their first offensive set of the second half. Yanis has no trouble bringing it over. And Hofstra will get the offensive personnel on. The attack unit did a lot of the scoring for Hofstra in that first 30 minutes, with Stopak with a goal, the freshman, and Ryan Tierney with a pair, making up 3 of the 4 goals so far. Here's Yanis, the midfielder, double teamed and stripped away. Yanis stays down.
That was a good slide there by the Georgetown defender. They committed 2 shorties to the ball carrier. Ball carrier threw it back to Yanis there, and the guy on the crease was ready to slide right over. You'll see him come out of nowhere, 44, and make good contact on Yanis right there.
So we'll keep our eye on Yanis, and if he returns, looks like he's trying to shake it off somewhere on that left arm. Coming off the stoppage, Georgetown collects. Almost intercepted there by Hofstra, but Bucci able to collect. Georgetown getting that first midfield unit back on. Declan McDermott, Lucas Wittenberg, Massimo Bucci. Shot from downtown. It's Jake Caraway with his first goal of the game. That was some Steph Curry range.
That was a nice shot right there, and yeah, I'm not sure how he got so wide open there. It didn't look like the ball carrier coming down the right-handed alley was really too much of a threat to get to the goal, and needed to have a slide come. So he's just able to keep carrying down, look back, throw it over the top of the defense, and you know, that's just too much time and room for these guys that can sling it from 14, but no one's in his hands, you know. So tough to ask Casey, you know, save a low to high shot from 14 with no pressure in his face whatsoever.
Caraway coming off a big game on Tuesday, 4 goals and 2 assists for 6 points. And he's now got 3 points so far today as he's got a goal to go up with a couple of helpers as Herber wins the ensuing faceoff. And down by 5, Hofstra offensively has got to get something going. It's a Hofstra team that lost a ton of talent from last year's squad. 18 different players moving on, including the All-American goalie, Jack Kincannon, face-off man, Kyle Gallagher. A shot is stopped, and we've got a flag down. Looks to be a push on Georgetown as we get another look.
It's a good strong take right there, showing some toughness. I mean, that's been my major gripe with this Hofstra team so far, is that nobody's been dodging tough enough to the goal. You know, Giannis right there, knew he was going to get pushed in the back, knew he was going to face some contact, and went hard to the goal anyway.
Jimmy Giannis, a guy we just saw down injured after a physical take.
Exactly.
Tough kid coming from California. First penalty of the day, and it's a 30-second man up for the Pride. Tierney operating at the top of the box. Gets it to Philbin. Step down save by McElroy.
Great save right there. Pretty good look from Philbin, but better save.
Georgetown able to wipe off the rest of the penalty. We're back to even
See that
strength.
lock off here. Got a lock.
Just able to save it. And now Bucci with it. Bucaro with a full head of steam to Clark. He's got a hat trick on the day.
Sloppy play. It seemed like the Hofstra defenders were all following the ball up towards the midline. Little did they know that Bucaro's sneaking behind them, and then it becomes a 2-on-1. That's an easy finish right there. Got to have a little bit more awareness. I know you want to get the ball back if you're the Hofstra Pride, but we've got to be matched up on the backside too. That's an easy goal right there for 16, Clark.
And we talk so much about Bucaro's speed, and he's just able to put you in an awful situation there as he was coming out of the midfield area.
Absolutely.
Robert Clark now with 3 goals today, coming off a 4-point effort on Tuesday. Scored 20 goals a year ago. He's already got 9 now in game 5. Georgetown's got its largest lead of the day at 6. Remember, this Hofstra team did have to come back and showed some grit on Tuesday night against Stony Brook in their rivalry game on Long Island. Found a way to come back from down 3 goals in that 4th quarter, tie it up, eventually lost with a goal with about 1:20 left by the Seawolves. Stopak, one of the keys to that comeback, number 6 in yellow, the freshman. Had 4 goals on Tuesday. Tierney tries to split the defense, and it's taken away. Zachary Geddes in transition. Tough pass to Caraway, looking for Bucaro, and just a little too ambitious.
Actually, great play by Elder there to back check all the way from the offensive zone and get down to that left-handed attackman there. That's an easy layup goal if he doesn't back check and get there.
Casey in some trouble. Now just 9 seconds left to get it over and a caused turnover.
Looks like they're bailed out, Travis, by a loose ball push there.
And
very lucky.
Still just 3 seconds to get it over midfield, and it's stolen away. And back come the Hoyas. Down low, stolen. Altman, right place, right time.
Coach Warren is not going to be happy with that right there. I think he'd want to get a full possession there if you're the Hoyas.
Already 10 turnovers for this Hofstra team, 6 for Georgetown. Talked about Kyle Devitt's joke of a tweet in terms of clearing percentage, but it has become a bit of an adventure at times with the just 20 seconds to get it over midfield and teams still figuring that out.
Yeah, I mean, it's to be honest with you, it's one of the least fun and least exciting parts of lacrosse, but people don't realize, you know, failed clears, although teams usually clear around 80 or 90%, those percentage of non-successful clears usually result in goals because you got the defense completely spread all over the field, and oftentimes it's like picking off a goalie's pass or something, you get a wide open net, so it's really an important part of the game.
Tierney tried to force one down low, and it's picked off as Lannion looks to run. And after those last couple of unsettled possessions, Georgetown's going to get one here as Bucaro takes it to the corner. Austin McDonald checking in there, playing alongside Bucci and Wittenberg. Here is Wittenberg, bounce shot just enough by Casey. Caraway able to back it up, and a fresh 80 seconds here for the Hoyas to operate. Get the feeling Hofstra needs something to change the tides of the momentum here.
They need a spark for sure.
It's maybe comes there. Casey with a kick save.
Beautiful save. He's making a lot of good saves here. It's not his fault that this game is a little lopsided right now for sure. A lot of the 10 goals that Georgetown has so far are coming right on top of his crease, and he's making some fantastic saves otherwise.
Casey's got 6 saves today. Let's see if Hofstra can answer at the other end. Tierney going up against Stephen McLeod. Stopak coming off a nice game on Tuesday. Career best 4 goals. Has been kind of quiet this afternoon.
Sometimes freshmen, it just takes them a little bit to kind of realize their own powers, if you will. Understand that you need to take the game over sometimes if you're one of the most talented players on the field.
Tierney with a good look there. They reset the shot clock on that. So a fresh 80, Tierney just wide. They're finding his spot right there, and that's promising for the Pride.
Absolutely. But don't just dodge to feed, too. Also, sometimes you need to lower your head and generate some contact and dodge to the net. So I'd like to see some guys go really hard to the cage.
Elder stripped away. Almost another caused turnover. Instead, as Lannion gets it and sprints over midfield. Kennard tried to strip it away, but can't. And Hofstra once again comes up empty offensively.
This Hoya defense is buttoned up.
Such a strength of the Georgetown team last year as Bucaro loses it over the end line. And Kevin Warren said this week, he said, you know, we've had to actually rely on the offense a little bit more to take some of the leadership and kind of lead the way for us this year when we relied so much defensively last year to set the tone. They've looked to the offense to set the tone with some of the experienced pieces like a Bucaro and a Caraway.
And that'll serve them well down the road, I think, to have that balance like that, not just be overly reliant on one unit or the other, because there will be those games where, you know, the strength of your team isn't clicking.
Kennard's bounce shot saved easily by McElroy and an easy outlet as well. The zone. Caraway just wide. And hear Coach Kevin Warren telling the team to get organized. Kick towards 5 minutes to go. Georgetown very comfortably in control, up 6. It's also the pace that they want to play at.
Exactly. I think if you're Hofstra here and John Gorman, one of the things you might tell your guys is to start pressuring pulls on non-Bucaro players is the best way I can put it. You know, this team has some unknowns, and who knows how talented a lot of these ball carriers are. So why not let your pulls play a little, take some time off the shot clock, and get them out of their rhythm. Nice slide.
Good help on the short stick. Bucaro keeps. Still 20 seconds to operate on the shot clock. Spins, feeds across. Oh, that was gorgeous. And McDermott's got one.
That was really pretty. You're gonna see Bucaro fake an underneath slide. Right here, he realizes he's got the shorty. Fake a dodge underneath, roll back to his left. You see the wide open guy cutting the backside. That's really pretty. He's got eyes on the back of his head here for this kid. Boom. That's nice.
So McDermott's got his first goal of the game. Bucaro now has got 2 goals to go along with a trio of assists. 5-point effort, and he has now been a part of nearly 50% of Georgetown's goals so far.
I'm really impressed by the secondary scores for this Georgetown team. They're all cutting really hard, playing really well off ball, off of Bucaro. Not just 5 guys standing around watching a guy, as that can be the case sometimes when you have a really talented offensive player. You just always got to keep your feet moving, keep setting picks, and hope that he finds you.
A 4-0 run for the Hoyas. They have shut out Hofstra so far in the third quarter. A 3-0 third quarter for Georgetown. And you could feel some of the momentum turn right back to Georgetown after Hofstra made a little run, as Bucaro scored right there at the end of the half. And it's turned into a nice start to the half for Georgetown. Tierney working and finally gets another. Ryan Tierney's got a trio, all just about from the same spot.
Yeah, he loves getting to that right-handed wing, which seems awkward if you're a left-handed player because you don't have the full angle of the goal to shoot at. But, you know, it clearly is working for Ryan so far, and that's his 3rd of the day from that almost same spot.
He just kept working and finally got the hands free from McLeod. So first goal of the third quarter in the second half for Hofstra. Let's see if it sparks something.
I can't rely on that action every single time. You don't want to rely on a Ryan Tierney sweeping all the way across the field for a goal to come back in this game. You know, you want to rely on ball movement and other guys too.
Violation on the Pride gives it to Georgetown. Hoyas picked 3rd in the Big East preseason poll, actually picked behind Denver and then Marquette, which is a little interesting considering this is a Hoyas team coming off a Big East tournament championship.
Yeah, this looks to be a really strong conference this year. You've got Marquette that's always been pretty good the past 5 years at least or so. Denver that's up very strong. And then Villanova, they had the upset of Yale earlier this year.
You're going to get a chance to see Villanova next weekend here on LSN, part of the Philly 4 Lacrosse Classic, as that shot clings off a Hofstra player and it'll trigger the penalty. First penalty of the afternoon for Hofstra, so Georgetown, we get a look at their extra man unit for the first time today. Got a slash on Daniel Oakes, the freshman from Syosset.
Penalty on number 50, Daniel Oakes, 1 minute for a slash.
Just caught him on the back, no stick there. They'll definitely call that in college every time.
You can get away with that now in the pros?
I think so, yeah, as long as it's not too loud.
Let's see what the Hoyas do with a 1 minute extra man, already up 6. Get a look at Dylan Watson, number 45 in Navy, part of this extra man unit. He's in the middle. Shot from down low, from downtown, a little wide from Clark. A little sloppy here for Wittenberg. Still plenty of time to operate. Clark buries another. He's got 4.
Way to keep the ball spinning if you're this Hoya offense. Just stay patient. They fed the crease even once, and crease fed it back outside, and that actually ended up opening this play right up. Crease back outside, and then they over to that that right-handed wing. There's just nobody waiting there. So give up a decent shot to get an even better shot.
And step down. That's a tough one for Casey to try to track down. Robert Clark has been a goal-scoring machine here today. 4 goals for the senior from Cooksville, Maryland. And once again, another possession for Georgetown. A tough spot for this Hofstra defense. Back on the field. McDermott, the jump shot, but Casey able to keep that one out. Really needed that.
Yes, definitely. They're going to keep competing here, the Hofstra Pride. They won't go away. They'll fight to the end and hopefully, you know, find some momentum here to make this a game. But you can always count on a Coach Tierney team to fight to the end. That's for sure. They won't pack it in early.
They just need to string some goals together. They had a couple of goals from Ryan Tierney in a row, but otherwise they just haven't been able to string streaks together.
Absolutely.
Under a minute to go in the third. Stopak, the freshman, just 1 goal after 4 on Tuesday. He's got the short stick on him. Downhill, Kennard draws the double. Under 30 seconds for Yanis. Had Philbin there on the doorstep, instead decides to shoot it. 3 seconds left, and
looks like Giannis missed that guy on the crease right there. Just had pick his head up a little bit. Had a guy cutting wide open.
And Stopak's just gonna set it to the corner. 15 seconds still if Georgetown wants to hurry. They may not be in a huge hurry, up by 7 here. Bucci taken down, that'll draw a flag, and so Georgetown with a second left is gonna go into the 4th quarter with an extra man opportunity and a 7-goal lead. All Hoyas in the 3rd. Welcome back to Long Island. Travis Elders, the former member of the Hofstra Pride. Finn Sullivan back with you here on LSN. Robert Clark putting on a show for Georgetown here today. He's got 4 goals. And believe it or not, he's also the last member of the Hoyas to score 5 goals in a game. He did so last year against NJIT. And the Hoyas back on the extra man here. Just a 30-second man up. But Clark was able to score there at the end of the 3rd quarter on the extra man. See if he can add another. And she can hear from the crowd. The shot clock reset, and it shouldn't have.
Through a thick Long Island accent right there. Not sure who that was, but
There are plenty of those. Let's see, get another look. The rule is that it needs to either hit the goalie, hit the frame of the goal in order to reset the shot clock. So we're gonna get 59 seconds on the shot clock here. And that definitely was not touched, so 59 seconds left on the shot clock. Still some time left on the man up. Back to even strength now. And Georgetown, Bukhara almost ran himself into some trouble. Tries to find Clark in front, and it's picked up by Altman. Needed that stop for Hofstra. Step down from Pryor, saved, and scooped up by Gibson Smith. Gibson Smith, a guy who's been all over the field, starts the transition. The bounce shot goes for the short stick D midi. Zachary Geddes, the freshman, with his first career goal.
I think if Pryor puts that ball low or changes planes on the shot, we might be looking back on a Hofstra goal right now rather than a Georgetown goal, but he keeps it high. It's right into the goalie's stick. They're up and out the other way, and 13 there with a nice bouncer. Kind of wish Pryor had shot that ball on the bounce right there. And it's a more high percentage shot, and you know, it goes for 13 there.
And so the midfielders trading shots. Hofstra can't get it to go. Georgetown comes back at the other end. Geddes gets one. The Massachusetts native makes it 13-5. A big face-off win for Herber. But we go back to the issue for Hofstra, which has been finding some kind of bread and butter offensively.
Yeah, I think so. You know, they went to the inverts there for the second quarter, and they were having some success with that. It looked like they tried to invert again in the third quarter, and it just wasn't working. So that chess match, you know, how do you counter now if you're Coach Tierney, pull out another set, or Coach Brazel, who's also the offensive coordinator, and just, you know, try to counter and see if you can break through this defense and string together a couple goals.
Jimmy Giannis had a little success like that in the first half, and we're going to get a push and an extra man chance for Hofstra. Good chance to try to get one back. That was Giannis's bread and butter last year when he was playing at attack. Get himself ahead of steam from the corner, be able to operate from X, something that they're trying to go back to, it looks like.
Yeah, he's a jitterbug to Dodger is what I call him. Shorter guy and just such quick bursts of speed and change of direction. You know, he's a party star is what I, you know, refer to him as, a guy that's going to force a slide a lot of times. And then he's just got to kind of, when he forces those slides, try to hit the open guy and move the ball rather than dodge through two.
0 for 2 on the man up today, Hofstra. Tierney, the fake flip, across, shot a little wide, and they give Hofstra the backup. Riley Forte was a little wide from downtown. Tierney pulls that, but right into the stick of McElroy. McElroy's been good today. He's got 9 saves, giving up just the 5 goals. Nice bounce-back effort for a guy who was pulled in the second half of that win against Mount St. Mary's.
Yeah, he's definitely been impressive today. Dealt with a lot of step-down shots and shots on the run, though, as opposed to Casey's been facing, you know, people barreling right down on his front door, right on the crease. So, you know, when you're facing shots from 12 yards and out, it'll make you look a lot better than when they're 5 and in.
Well, and it's been interesting this year with the shot clock. The shots that teams are seeing and goalies are seeing are different maybe than they're used to, because teams in certain situations can't hold for that perfect shot anymore. So more of the routine saves are being had to be made for these goalies on a regular basis.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely right.
You have somebody in the crease there?
I think we had an attackman maybe touch the crease.
Nice gift back to Hofstra. Talking with Charlie Toomey before we did the Loyola Towson game earlier this week, and he also said, as a former goalie, he's got a unique perspective on it. He said, you need goalies not only to be savers, but also catchers of the ball. They can't just make that first stop and give up the rebound, because then you're giving up a fresh 80 seconds and a lot of different things. You're putting your defense in a spot where they may have to be on the field for a little bit longer. You need somebody who's going to catch that ball and then be able to get it out quick.
Yeah, like in hockey, they say absorb the shot, don't save it. A lot of guys can just fight shots off. Not a lot can save it, then control the rebound. And with the shot clock, you know, even if you make the save, but you're giving it right back to the other team, that's putting your defense at a severe disadvantage, having to play a lot more time.
Another man up as there was another flag down, so Hofstra another chance. Try to get something going offensively. Just one goal in the second half for the Pride. Joe Lacalzi called for the push.
Georgetown penalty on number 34, Joe Lacalzi, 1 minute per slash.
A slash, so 1 minute for Hofstra to operate. Tierney loves that flip at the top. Gets it in the middle, shot sails wide and no backup. Gibson Smith again creating an offensive chance for the Hoyas. He has been a stellar piece on this Hoyas defense. Kevin Warren just said, you know, he may not stand out as the most athletic guy, but he's very cerebral and a really smart defender and a great guy to have on your defense.
Need guys like that on your back end that just kind of see the floor for everybody and read and react and point guys in the right direction. This guy Gibson Smith really seems to do that well. You can anticipate plays well. It can make up sometimes for not having natural speed or athleticism and stuff if you can just see things before they happen.
He's got a couple more caused turnovers today, go along with the 10 he had entering the game. Really fast stick, also was a hockey player growing up. I know you're a Massachusetts guy. You play any hockey?
I did, yeah. Yeah, I was about as average as they come for high school hockey players, but had a blast. I mean, that was really my first love, what got me involved in lacrosse. A lot of my hockey buddies were switching over from baseball, so nothing but love for that sport. Still play a lot in the winter. Oh.
Shot found the side of the net just at the end of the shot clock and stays out for Hofstra. And so many guys, you especially look at the Canadian influence in the game as well. So many guys play both.
Yeah, receiving passes and just having soft hands. It's a lot of the same hand and wrist action. So that's why I think you see, and as you know, the physicality of the sport and stuff like that. There's a lot of similarities.
Your goalie out there in Denver, Dylan Ward. I don't know if he ever played hockey goalie, but he could. He's got the size.
I think so, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, he could play indoor lacrosse, outdoor lacrosse. I'm sure he could figure out hockey if you gave him some time.
One of the few guys who can play indoor and outdoor goalie in lacrosse. Such a unique skill. Ardrey to trigger. Hofstra. Offense has been a tough part as Forte draws the triple team. He falls in the crease and what's the call? He had all sorts of blue jerseys around him.
Like how the Hoyas, they slide with the body. You know, they're not swinging sticks. They're not trying to tip a shot or a pass. They are sliding to your rib cage area hoping to dislodge you from the ball. And that plays, you know, they have a tough defensive-minded coach in Kevin Warren, and that follows with his style.
Yeah. Hey, you liken the style of this Hofstra team, or excuse me, the Georgetown team, a little bit to his Hofstra legacy.
I think so, absolutely. These guys, you know, I don't know, they just seem to slide with more intensity and more what I call friction. So they're making harder and stronger contact on ball carriers.
There's Gibson Smith again.
Yeah. There he is again. We've been saying his name all day long.
Guy's been all over the field. He also, you see him, he plays face-off wing as well. The guy does a little bit of everything on that end of the field for the Hoyas.
Georgetown calls timeout.
And Georgetown takes a timeout. We'll take one with them. Hoyas, 19th ranked team in the country, in control here in the fourth.
Hey everybody, Tom Eschen here in the LSN studios. Plenty of pro prospects on the field across the country today, and something to think about is we're just 1 week away from the MLL draft here on LSN. Let's remember that moment for one of the best rookie defensemen in 2018.
With the 14th overall selection in the 2018 MLL draft, the Charlotte Hounds select Ben Randall, defense, Ohio State. The Dallas Rattlers are now on the clock.
By Dallas Rattlers, I meant Charlotte Hounds. And another pull here, Ben Randall off the board.
Ben Randall, initially, as you heard, taken by the Hounds, but was traded in June to Ohio. He led the league with 19 caused turnovers. He also scooped up 31 ground balls in the 11 games he played. Of course, the MLL announcing their projected guys who they think should be some of their prospects in the MLL draft this next week. You see some guys there, we know some of those names pretty well. Pat Spencer at attack for Loyola. Isaac Paparo, UMass at defense. Alex Woodall, we've seen him right here in LSN a few times at faceoffs, had a great year. And Max Tuttle in the midfield as well to sort of round up that list. That's some of the notables from a list of about 80 guys they released that some of them will see coming off the board in a week. You can see the MLL draft right here on Lax Sports Network next Saturday, March 9th. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern. With our preview show, then the MLL draft live from the NASCAR Hall of Fame in Charlotte, North Carolina at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. It's all right here for free on Lax Sports Network.
Welcome back here to LSN. Start your lacrosse Saturdays with LSN College Central here on Lax Sports Network. It begins at 11:30 a.m. Eastern every week. We'll get you ready for the biggest games of the weekend from around the country. Don't let your game day begin without checking out College Central, only on laxsportsnetwork.com, also on the free LSN app. Great way to kick things off, get kind of the table set for the start of your college lacrosse Saturday. Heard from both coaches at this matchup on College Central earlier today. And Kevin Warren, the happier of the two so far. A really good effort from Georgetown. Up 13-5, under 7 minutes to go. One of the most convincing performances we've seen from the Hoyas in this young 2019 season. Wittenberg with 10 seconds on the shot clock. Skips it across to Bucaro. He's got 6 points on the day.
This kid's been special today. He's done it feeding, he's done it dodging to the goal, hockey assists, goals. He can do it all. It's been really special to watch him. And the thing I've been most impressed with is that he's just letting it come to him. You know, it's not like he's going out there looking for his shot every single possession. He's letting the offense kind of generate around him, and then once he gets the ball in the right spot, he'll go to goal. And he's been almost making the right decision almost every single time he touches it today.
Yeah, honestly, you kind of forgot about him for a second here in the second half. They went with some other different pieces, trying some different stuff, and then when you need a goal to kind of continue to put this thing out of reach, Bucaro comes up with a play.
Absolutely.
Bucaro, 3 goals and 3 assists today. Now up to 26 points on the season. Now over 160 points in his Georgetown career. Ranked 7th in Georgetown history in career points, a list he's going to continue to climb up here in his senior season. Tierney trying to get that to that spot here in this lefty wing again, and that shot is easily saved by McElroy.
Shot by Ryan Tierney, saved by Owen McElroy.
Double-digit saves now for McElroy today.
You know, in lacrosse, when you try to get to the dirty areas, the area right in front of the net, and you dodge really hard to get to those kind of dirty, greasy areas, good things happen. You either draw a penalty, goalie's forced to make a great save, or you score. And Hofstra seems to be content with staying outside of that area and playing their lacrosse game kind of on the perimeter, taking a lot of perimeter shots. And, you know, Georgetown's been lowering their head down on dodges and getting right to the front of the net. So that's just been, to me, the biggest difference in the two teams today.
And credit Georgetown. They have made it really difficult on Hofstra offensively to get what
Definitely.
they wanted going.
Definitely.
Robert Clark's got 4. He holds on to it. We get to about 15 seconds of the shot clock. Caraway. Oh, he had a man on the doorstep. Can't connect. Clark can't get it through. And they'll just take the shot clock violation there for the Hoyas. The Georgetown team we're seeing, how do you feel like they stack up in a Big East? We saw Denver's get a big win today over North Carolina in a back-and-forth affair. We know Marquette is traditionally there. St. John's has had a nice start of the season. Where do you think they stack up?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're right in that mix at the top right there. Obviously, won the Big East last year, and so far this year have shown that they're you know, the cream of the crop for this conference so far. So you have to feel excited if you're a Hoya fan so far, what you've been seeing. And their secondary scores, they're finding guys right now that aren't known names in the lacrosse world, but they will be shortly if they keep putting up points like this.
Got 8 different goal scorers here for the Hoyas. That one rang somebody's helmet. Tucker Gilman took one off the lid. And when I talked to Coach Warren, I thought it was interesting for him to we were talking about what it meant for them to make the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2007, and he said, you know, this is such a prideful program. Alums have so much pride in Georgetown lacrosse, and it had been so long since we had been there that getting back there was just such a major milestone for them. And so to see this team come out with a fast start, I think is really important.
Yeah, I think so, and it sets the floor if you're a current player of where you know you can go. So, for example, you're a returning junior from that team last year or something. You know, you want to expand upon that success you had. You don't want to just meet it again and again. So they're looking to, I'm sure, do some damage in the NCAA tournament this year, not just get there.
Hey, remember, they gave Hopkins all they could handle, had a lead in that game, ended up losing in overtime in the opening round of the NCAAs. One of 3 Big East teams to get to the NCAA tournament, along with Villanova and Denver. And with the way Villanova has started, they, of course, knocked off this Hofstra team earlier this week. Villanova has a win over then #1 Yale from a couple weeks ago. Right. So promising start as there's a long pole goal. How about Keegan Santos getting one for Hofstra?
Nice pull. Looked like that was pretty deep.
That's 2-point range.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure, 2-point range. And just let it fly. Nice shot. Those shots from poles can be really hard to track for goalies, especially if they keep it high. You're always taught to change planes, so if you're shooting over the top, go low. But I've actually, found that if you shoot high to high with a pole, it's really, really tough for those guys to see where it's coming from.
Now, that's one of those balls when we see it in the MLL with the 2-point line. When a pole is coming down full speed, it's such a tough spot to try to track it for a goalie.
Yeah, for sure.
Another face-off win here for Herber.
Now in goal for Georgetown, number 18,
Face-off battle has really been relatively even. A slight edge now to Hofstra for the first-year starter, Brian Herber. Of course, trying to fill the void of the departed Kyle Gallagher, who transferred. Herber at 53%, right around that spot so far this afternoon, but it has been tough sledding offensively when Hofstra has gotten the ball. Georgetown defense really cracking down and putting on one of its best performances of the season. With Hofstra, we see the CAA. Towson is going to be is going to be a top 5 team come Monday. UMass, you know what they have coming back. Where do you feel like this Hofstra Pride program ranks in the CAA?
You know, if you were to ask me right now, I'd say somewhere in the middle. But the thing about team rankings, you know, these things change. Teams get better or they get worse. No team stays the same as the season progresses. So, you know, if I'm Coach Tierney and the Hofstra coaching staff, I'm looking at this game as a learning opportunity to see, you know, who showed out even when the game was out of hand, who still kept their compete level high, who's really fighting and taking it personally. And then those guys are going to be the ones that continue to play forward. And, you know, you just got to keep pushing the pile. And, like, a loss to Georgetown in very early March isn't going to completely ruin your season. So just understand that and build off of this for the future. When you play, like, teams like Towson and UMass, those are the ones that really, really count.
And things are getting a little chippy here. Is big hit, and looks like that's going to be a cross check. Griffin Barnathan coming across. And that's a 2-minute penalty. That'll take Griffin Barnathan out of this game for the rest of it, as Georgetown will be able to kill the rest of this time and walk away here with a win. Reminder, coming up tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, Lacrosse Now, just like every night, we'll get you caught up on all the highlights from around the country, including UMass giving Yale a game here today. Remember, they gave them such a good game in the NCAA tournament. That one a good one in the 4th quarter. We'll get you caught up on those highlights. Virginia, Syracuse, all the best games from today. We'll get you caught up on everything that you may have missed. Lacrosse Now, 9 p.m. Eastern, every night on LaxSportsNetwork.com and the LSN app. So with 16 seconds left, Georgetown's going to hold on to it and walk away from Long Island with an impressive win. They couldn't get here last year.
That's right, yeah.
But they were able to make it through some snow and some weather. Hopefully everybody's able to get back safe. Another storm coming up here on Sunday, but they walk away with the win. What's your impression from this game, what we saw?
Really impressed by this Hoya team, and now looking for them to maybe continue on and do some damage in the Big East this year. And for Hofstra, you know, a major stumble in their season so far, but you know, hopefully they can hit the reset button. They've got a full week to prepare for Ohio State next weekend. So, you know, I'm sure Coach Tierney is not going to be completely pleased with the effort today, and it's moving onward and forward.
Remember that Hofstra-Ohio State game, a game you can see right here on LSN next weekend. Hey, Finn, thanks for coming in. This was a lot of fun.
Travis.
Able to save us from some issues. We were able to get you in here last minute. The former Hofstra player, current Denver Outlaw, Finn Sullivan, joining us in the booth. But once again, your final score, number 19, Georgetown 14, Hofstra 6. Thanks for watching our CAA Game of the Week on Lax Sports Network. For Finn Sullivan, our producer Dylan Hand, and our entire crew, I'm Travis Eldridge. Our next game comes your way Friday from Philadelphia. A Philly 4 double dip with St. Joe's Drexel, UPenn, and Villanova battling. But for right now, we'll send you back inside the LSN Broadcast Center. Have a good one.